webisode is to show managing editors and content coordinators how to use the issue builder in CMS to load the new issue of their homepage. So this is to load all the new content for the new issue using the issue builder. What you need to do is you need to go to your CMS's login screen, which is your URL/CMS, log in with your username and password. This will take you to your Home tab. You need to go into the IMG Tools tab and then click on the Issue Builder subtab. From here you can see you are in the Issue Builder, and this basically shows you all the information that is currently loaded onto the home page. So what you need to do now is you need to create a new issue to load new content onto the home page. You do this by going over here to Issue Tasks and clicking the New Issue button. When you do this, you see there are a couple immediate changes. First, your version has been increased by 1, and your status is now unpublished. Before, this was issue 297, and it was published. So now you have a new version, and it's unpublished. The first thing that you need to do before you do anything else is to make sure that you set the publish date. You do this by clicking into this box. Your calendar will pop up. And let's say we want this to publish tomorrow. So this is the day that your new issue is going to go live. All of the content that is loaded on this homepage should also have the same publish date. You just click on the day, and then you immediately hit Save Issue. You don't want to do anything else to the homepage until you have set the publish date and click Save Issue. This ensures that if somehow the homepage accidentally gets published, this isn't actually going to go live. So you want to make sure to have this future date. Now that we've hit save, you can see that your published date has been updated to a future date. Now you are good to go in and make all of the changes that you would like to your new issue. So scrolling down, your masthead will be typically loaded by your managing photographer. If you are a content coordinator of a publication, all you need to do is copy and paste the file ID of the masthead image into this box. Your issue title, if you have one, and then the week or the day that this is going to publish. So let's update this to November 11th. Moving on down the line, this is basically just a simple form for you to fill out. Your featured items, let's say you have a video that you want to load onto the home page. You just click Select File. Sometimes it'll automatically take you to the videos. If it doesn't, then you need to make sure that you are clicking into the proper directory. Right here you see you have a list of directories. Make sure you click into the videos directory first, and then find the video that you want to load and click Select. Same thing with your featured company. You just click Select File. You can see that this automatically defaults within the featured companies. You find the featured company that you want to load and hit Select. Another easy way to do this is you can also click the title link, and this will sort the column by alphabet. So then you can see if you want to go back and find one from a past date, you can easily sort them that way. You just always want to make sure you're selecting a page and not a directory. The one area is the same thing for the featured focus. So one thing that you need to also be aware of is when you're selecting a featured city, this will take you to the neighborhoods or the cities directory where you have all of your different cities, but you notice it takes you to the directories. So each individual city or neighborhood has its own directory. So you need to find the one that you want to feature for that week. Make sure you click into that folder first, and then this page will pop up, and then this is the page that you want to hit Select on, and it'll load that page onto the home page. You don't want to load a directory onto the home page. You want to load a page onto the directory, onto the home page. So once you've gone through and done a couple of things, I would recommend hitting Save Issue often. You know, saving often is always a good thing. So definitely hit Save as much as you would like. If you walk away for a while, it will time you out after a while. So it's a good idea to just, after you've loaded certain sections, just go ahead and click Save Issue. So now let's move on to some of the other content. So featured stories. How this works is that in the left-hand boxes are all the available pieces of content. These are sorted by alphabet, and I believe it shows the most recent 50 stories. So it takes the most 50 recent feature stories, and then it sorts them by alpha in here. And then you can also tell, if you mouse over a story, it shows you the modified date of when that was actually last modified. So you can make sure that you're clicking on the right one. So the first thing that you want to do when loading new content is to make sure that you clear out what's currently selected. These are the stories that ran last week. Now you want to get rid of them and you want to load in the new content. So you can either do that by just clicking on one and clicking back over to the left, or you can do them all at the same time by clicking the double to the left. When you do that, it moves it over. Now you're ready to go in and select new stories and move them back over to the right. And let's say you didn't want that story, you wanted to move it back over. So let me go back and let me load the stories that I wanted to have onto the home page. So I want these two stories. The order that they show in the selected box is the same order that they will appear on the home page. So for example, this feature story, Queen City Project, will show first in the first slot. My Soapbox will show in the second slot. Same thing with all of the other different types of news. So let's say the innovation job news, we're ready to update this section. Let's move all of these ones that are currently on the home page from last week's issue. Let's get them out of there. And then now we want to go and we want to select the new pieces of content for this week's issue. I'm actually just going to reload the same stories just to keep the home page the same. So then you will go through and do that with all of these different pieces of content. You just go ahead and you move them all over to the left, and then you reselect the new pieces of content to be moved over to the right, and that's what will appear on the home page. The same thing for your jobs section. You would go through, you would move them over to the left, you would find the new ones. And this is where the tool becomes handy, where you can see the modified date. A lot of times the jobs available will have, it'll be the same thing, you know, an accountant, you might have 2 or 3 of them in the system. That's when this mousing over and seeing the modified date is helpful to know, because you always want to make sure that you're loading the most recent, because that's most likely the one that you want on that home page. So you just basically go through and you do that using those butterfly boxes. When you're done, you hit Save Issue. Now the one thing that you want to make sure is that when you originally set up the new issue, and the first thing that you did was went in and you set the publish date and then you hit Save Issue before you went down this list and made these other changes. You also want to make sure that you're doing this before your photographer goes in and uploads the masthead image. You want to make sure if that step is not properly taken of creating a new issue and setting that publish date, then it can cause problems down the road when your issue tries to go live or the newsletter is going out. So you want to make sure that the managing editor is the only person that is creating the new issue. So your photographer is not going in there and doing that, that they know that they're not supposed to go in there and load in the masthead image until they see that you've created a new issue. And typically a good indicator is that this publish date is set for the next issue's date. So you just want to make sure to communicate that properly to them. Once you're done, you make sure that all of your content is published. Every single piece of content in here that is loaded onto this page, all of these in the selected, must be published and completely finalized before you can publish the home page. Once you've published all of these individual stories, now you can publish the home page. All you do is just hit Publish Issue. Say Publish Immediately. You can say OK because you know that your publish date is properly set for that future date. So you click OK. And now you see all your only option is